All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Crystal, Marion, Executive Recruiter for this recruitment. I want to welcome you to the UCAF info session. Again, if you would like to be off camera, that is fine. And if you'd like to change your name so that your name does not even appear, you can change it to attendee or possibly your favorite superhero. I want to let you know if you are not speaking, please stay muted. And then when it's time for the Q&A after each particular agenda item, we will allow you to be able to ask your questions by raising your hand, coming off mute and posing that question, or you can put that question into the chat. I want to thank you again for your interest in this employment opportunity, and let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to hand it off to Sherelle that will give us an overview of the UCAF transformation.
Good morning. Thank you, Crystal. My name is Sherelle Jackson. I use she, her pronouns, and I have the pleasure and blessing of being in an interim role right now for what we are calling the Office of Customer Experience. I'm in an interim role as the interim director for that Office of Customer Experience. And this office is you may be familiar with it. It was service delivery, is what we were calling it. But really, it birthed out of the story of what we're trying to do with transforming the agency. And so, a little bit of background about this position. As we begun to frame what we're wanting to do with the transformation of ODHS and how we show up and deliver its services to those who need them. We met with many staff, we met with community, we met with uh, tribes, and talked about where are we trying to go? What are we trying to do? What are we trying to design and build? And through lots of conversation and sessions with people and groups and those things, what we really made sense of is we are wanting to design future state so that we do much better at how we listen to those who access our services, listen to tribes, listen to community, listen to those with lived experience, listen to, workforce for how we can do different and how we can do better in terms of delivering the services of ODHS. And so with this position, Unified Children, Adult, and Family, the opportunity that came out of those sessions was we have a real opportunity to think differently on how we're showing up in the story of both child welfare and self-sufficiency. And what we really made sense of was a few things. One, we aim to help support people reach economic stability. We aim to help support people with family stability. We aim to support children from being at risk of abuse. We aim to provide supports through districts, through delivery of services to be able to really wrap around family. But also, what we made sense of is we have a better way. We should be doing this and thinking about the full array of the services that we deliver in ODHS. And so, with the Unified Children, Adult, and Family concept, it was how can we support families across the continuum in a very holistic way? So, when people touch our system and maybe come through the doors at trying to access services that traditionally are under self-sufficiency, how might we be able to holistically understand what is it that, you're needing some support with, and how then can we lean into that, but also look abroad and look wide to be able to understand where else can we connect you. But then we wanted to roll it up and look from a place of policy. How might we be able to also think about that through the lens of policy? How might we be able to think about that through the lens of as we are making sense of policies that we are developing or creating or federal funding that we're accessing? How can we do that in a way where we lessen the barrier that our workforce has in delivering our services and make it smoother, more efficient in terms of how we bring these programs together so that from the person's perspective needing the support, They just receive the support and services that they need. So the design of the Unified Children and Family Continuum was really birthed out of that. We think about things called social determinants of health, which really are what are the myriad of things that happen in our everyday life that create challenge and stressors for us that we might need to navigate through to help us reach an end of being stable. And through the Unified Children, Adult, and Family Continuum, we want to build that. So this position was really birthed out of opportunity to get to different, opportunity to be able to do different. And so we want to look at how we can bring in prevention, which is really what are the services that gets in front of individuals who end up needing to go deeper into systems. So intervening before you get deeper into a system, which is prevention. And how can we take that and couple that with services that provide economic stability and services that provide family stability and services that build family networks of support and services that collaborate with the tribes and collaborate with community to be able to provide holistic ways that we can support families. So that's the history and thought and story for why we were wanting and designing the Unified Continuum to be able to support families in a much different way.
Thank you, Sherelle. So
You're
we
welcome.
will open this up for questions, anything in regards to what you've heard so far. We will dig deeper. Sherelle will dig a little deeper into the position. We'll talk about that a little more, but want to make sure that we want to make sure we take any questions at this time.
Thank you, Francis. We love it too.
No questions? You're making my Friday morning just so simple. Yes.
Francis has a
Okay.
question.
Oh, Francis, let's go ahead. I see a hand now. Thank you.
So, real off topic, real quick. This is being recorded, right? Because I would love this to be shared that this is coming because this is inspiring. Just that one piece was inspiring that somebody took the time, multiple people, to dig so much deeper and see the big picture instead of the little bit of picture. So, it's recorded so we could show this or no?
It's being recorded, so you can utilize it as you wish.
Amazing.
It
Thank you.
will, and the link will be sent out. It does have to be changed into a YouTube video, but we will send the link once that's done.
Thank you.
Of course. Any other comments or questions? Okay. So Sherelle, let's talk about the actual position. If you can give some
Okay.
information directly related, high level points, and if then people have questions, we can take some of those.
Absolutely. The actual position, so this is a position that will oversee the portfolios of a few things. Think about our TANF portfolio today. Think about our refugee program portfolio today. Think about our, TADVS, is our portfolio that supports survivors who access survivor benefit through self-sufficiency today. Think about our family support and connections portfolio. But also think about in today's world right now, child welfare, the program has done a lot of work at trying to build out a prevention portfolio to prevent deeper entry of children into the child welfare system. And so we aim to bring this into this portfolio for this director to be able to oversee the policy of as well. So mostly those buckets would be the role and story for this director. The other thing though is this director would do a lot of work across the aisle. And what I mean by that is this portfolio has a wonderful opportunity to be able to bridge partnerships and collaborations across state agencies. Think about DELC, think about OHA, think about OHCS, which is the Oregon Community Housing Services. Oregon Health Authority is OHA. I'll be mindful of acronyms. Department of Early Learning is DELC, those kinds of things. And really kind of reaching across the aisle to see how we can do better at collaboration and partnership and opportunity to be able to support holistic services for family. And so overseeing those things, thinking about where, funding can be braided, where funding can come together to create opportunity to have uh, frontline have access to services to be able to support families. So this director role would specifically oversee those portfolios, and then they would help, be partnering in and having conversations at executive levels with community, with being able to look at in community and with tribes what opportunities exist to be able to do this work, holistically. So really overseeing broadly for ODHS, the Oregon Department of Human Services, the bringing together really those portfolios to support families differently.
Any questions from regarding the position and its duties and its oversight? Well, Cheryl, I have a question.
Yeah.
This position, I take it it's remote. Is there an office specifically where this person would sit? Are they in Salem, Portland? How does that work?
Hmm, really great question. Typically, positions at this caliber have a home office in Salem, but we would see it more as a hybrid because this is a statewide position. So we would want this director to be able to mobilize across the state. We would want this director to be able to be present in, meeting with tribes across the state. We would want this position to be able to meet directly with districts and programs across the state. We would want this position to be able to access needed, trainings and conferences that can help frame how we move forward in understanding the story of TANF nationally and the story of prevention nationally, working with partners across the nation. This is a pretty wide portfolio, but the home office would likely be Salem with some hybrid responsibility.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Just checking to see if there were any other questions. Yes, Francis.
So with that being hybrid, is it going to be able to connect to different districts to learn their community partners and what they have in that area? Or would we have the opportunity to like go actually there and be part of the community resources to really dig our feet in?
No, that's a great question. This position, we would absolutely want that. It would be really important for them to understand what's happening across the state. We would want them to be able to have direct connections with district managers, with community coordinated care organizations, with community-based partners, with tribes, et cetera, to really understand as you're shaping and framing policy that's going to affect and impact people across the state to understand what rural experiences are, what metro experiences are, what Eastern Oregon and Central Oregon and Southern Oregon experiences are, those kinds of things. So while this is a hybrid position, there is a lot of desire for this position to really get in, know, and understand as you are working to create and build, because this is a portfolio that hasn't necessarily been built despite having programs that have existed for over a time. And so taking the unified approach, we want them to look at how they can take something that is visionary today and bring it together. But in order to do that, it would require exactly what you're asking for, which is I gotta know, I gotta understand, I gotta really be able to connect into really what's happening and what's going on. So that's a great question.
Yes, Elizabeth.
Hello. I was just wondering, at the early stages of this position, is the primary goal to establish relationships and build out the plan for moving forward? Are there any oversight of staff responsibilities in the beginning, or this is just the beginning of the planning stage for what um, you hope to see?
I love it. That's a great question. We want this initial focus to be building. this isn't built yet. We're still in the throes of transformation. We're still in the throes of trying to design what we're trying to design. And we expect that it will require a lot of, Francis asked the question about, are they going to connect, to know, to understand, to learn? It's going to require a lot of that. It's going to require a lot of that in order to be able to build this out because we expect that when fully implemented, this is going to really change how we support people who are needing our resources and services for moving through and out of poverty and risk and crisis and those kinds of things. And so we want this person initially to come in, learn, get to know, understand, build, shape, etc. So logistically, no, we don't expect right away that this position would immediately have, a team of direct reports to have to start overseeing because we're trying to create and build somewhat differently than what we currently and how we currently are. And I expect that this position would do much of that through the end of this year. And as we're beginning to kind of look into, the next calendar year, what does that mean about now bringing direct reports and staff for them to be able to oversee. Now, there'll be some dotted line things that we believe this position would, have some indirect relationship of overseeing and support for. But largely to your point, this is a start with building, start with designing, start with really diving into working with us in the area of transformation to be able to continue to move it forward.
And follow up. Do you have a a timeline that you see this rolling out in, or will that really be developed by whoever takes this position as they figure out what's best needed and how best to
Mhm.
implement the
Great
program?
question. We have a tentative timeline for the work of transformation that's built out actually through the end of this biennium. And so we see through the end of June 2028 work happening in the story of transformation. But for this position, some of the estimated, and I want to give a little bit of flexibility here, but some of the estimated timeline is really we have and Crystal, you can speak more to this here in a bit, the recruitment that's happening between now and I believe July. We have a thought that this position hopefully may be in place sometime in August. And then from there, using the latter part of the year to really get to know, understand, build, wrap around what the vision is for transformation that we're trying to, create, be able to work directly with program directors around what exists already to be able to move into where are we wanting to go, do some work with, tribes and community and partners, work with national partners to understand what it is that we're wanting to do and how to begin to frame that. And as we get into the other side of the year, being able to look at how we kind of shape that out and move that. And so tentatively, we're looking probably summer-ish into next year where you start to perhaps see some of the other more traditional moves that you would expect in positions where you have org structures moving in workday and those kinds of things. But today, right now, this is more of a build up, move toward, design, shape, and then we get to that place. Did that answer your question, Elizabeth?
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're
That
welcome.
sounds wonderful. I just, wanted to get a little more clarification around where it was at. So that was amazing.
For
Thank
sure.
you.
Yes, Bree.
Hello. What are the ideal qualities and skills that you are looking for in your perfect candidate?
That is a great question, Bree. Well, a few things. One is someone who understands policy. Another is someone who understands how to uh, move across the aisle, work with partners, and collaborate. Someone who is system savvy, someone who has leadership strength and savvy, someone who has some technical skill set around taking something that is very conceptual and visionary and bringing it into focus and bringing it into the tangible. Um, would be great to have someone who really understands a lot of the portfolios responsible for, that would be reporting into this director, someone who understands TANF, someone who understands, the refugee program, someone who understands our RTA DVS program, someone who understands the story of prevention, someone who really gets social determinants of health and how being able to create a design portfolio that leads from that perspective or frame could impact how we, do different for serving Oregonians and people who touch our system. Someone who has an equity lens, equity uh, driven leadership is really important in a role like this for a variety of different reasons. Someone who is motivated and excited and is looking forward to being able to jump into something that isn't truly formed to help walk alongside others to create form and to create story for what it is that we are trying to do. Someone who can lead through change. I think that's going to be really important in a role like this. I think those would be some immediate things that I can think of connected to what would really be important in this position to support how we're trying to move forward.
Thank you. There is a question in the chat, and Francis posed this. So we would also work with community partnership coordinators in different locations. Then the different tribes and areas, community partners in all areas, management in different departments, and connecting all the dots to see how we can connect all. So
Yes.
this, okay.
My firm answer is yes. One of the core principles in the story of family coach work that is going to be fundamentally supported by this director in this program is engagement. How are we engaging? And what you just described about the community partnerships, about the relationships with the tribes, about how we connect the dots across the state really all fall up underneath that story. So engagement is going to be a huge piece. And also because when we're designing, we want to design not just from our place and frame of reference, but from those who are saying, here's what hasn't worked for me, here's what does work for me, here's where I could use some difference, and being able to take that information and move with it to be able to think through how we build and lead. So it's going to be critical that this leader has that vision, has that situational awareness, has that intrinsic understanding to be able to move from that frame and from that perspective.
Thank you. Yes, Martha.
Thanks. This is a permanent position,
This is Martha.
but you said, Sherelle, that you're still interim in your role. Does it report? It will report to you?
Great question. Let's talk org design. So the org design of this is the Office of Customer Experience is the portfolio, is the big office, and the Unified Continuum Adult and Family Program would sit within the Office of Customer Experience. So this director would report to the Office of Customer Experience Director, which today I'm in that interim role for.
Martha, did that answer your question? But
It's hard to know when something is interim, like how, sometimes they'll say it's interim till the end of the year, it's interim till 2027. I know there's always moving parts in an organization like this one, but I was just curious if Sherelle had some sense of if she would be moving into a permanent role
Oh,
soon as
me?
along. They've predicted
Uh,
that she'll be interim.
Here's what I can say. The Office of Customer Experience Director is a position that they expect to make permanent. This is a permanent design in our future plan. So it is absolutely part of the permanent direction we're headed. I'm sitting in the interim role today, but the plan is to have a permanent person in this role. And the UCAF director would report up into that position, also a permanent position. Is that more concrete, Martha?
Yes, thank you. I
You're
appreciate
so
it.
welcome.
Thank you.
thank you. I love clarity. All right.
Absolutely.
So are there any other questions specific to the position?
Hey, Crystal, I
Yeah.
want to give the ODHS Director's Office a chance to speak from their perspective on this position if they would like. Dana, I know you're in for Liesel. I didn't know if you wanted to take a moment to talk about, from the Director's Office perspective, any thoughts or ideas or reflections on this position for the agency. So I want to give you space before Crystal moves us forward.
Oh, thank you all so much. I apologize for being off camera. I wasn't expecting to be here today, so I'm not camera ready, and you all don't want to see that. So, nice to be with you all. And Liesel has been having some difficulties hopping into the meeting. So, I would just say, and I'm Dana Hiddle, I'm the Deputy Director for ODHS, and I've been working with Sherelle and Liesel and the rest of the new Office of Customer Experience team and setting up transformation. This position is critical, obviously to the success of our transformation efforts. I would say from my experiences in the other programs that are not being brought into transformation at this time, that it's critical for those programs as well so that we can provide better customer experiences to the people that we serve, as individuals come into our offices and are seeking services. Um, it's important that they know what all is available that can be of assistance to them and not have to go to multiple different spaces. And just really seeing the whole family unit, the individual unit through the lens of everything that we all have to offer. The UCAF director is going to be critical in creating those connections with the other programs within ODHS, obviously with child welfare, with OEP, with APD. But yeah, I think this is a really exciting opportunity for anybody that has a good understanding of what folks need who are experiencing hardships in their lives and need our services and have a passion to connect people with those supports. And it will be a critical part of our executive leadership team as well, helping to shape how things move forward.
Thank you, Dana. Okay. Any other questions in regards to the position, transformation? Cheryl, is there any other information you'd like to convey in regards to the position
I
before?
would just add what to Dana's point about the criticality of the position and its role in leadership. This role also is an executive leader with the Office of Customer Experience. It would sit with another role that we have that's in strategy and operations administrator, who is also a part of the executive leadership team, and the regional administrators who would support the oversight of the district managers and the districts. And so this would be a critical part of the OCE, the Office of Customer Experience Leadership Team, in addition to really being vital in terms of connecting in and being a part of the executive team of the ODHS leadership.
Great, thank you. So before we move to the last part of the agenda, I just want to make sure, are there any other questions related to the position? Okay, I am putting the Workday link into the chat. I'm sure all of you have access to it, but just in case. Basically, the position will be open. It's open now. It will be open till July the 6th. We'll close at 11:59 p.m. And then we are going to be doing a lot of work in the background prior to its closing. As you probably, if you've looked into the application process, it's a little different. We're not wanting a cover letter. We're wanting a resume, a Teams recording of your presentation. There is a prompt in the Workday announcement of what that prompt, indicating what the prompt is, for you to be able to have a presentation completed between 5 and 7 minutes. And then we're also asking for a PowerPoint slide deck, and it's all listed as to the information that we're requiring. Your Workday profile should be updated. with all relevant, pertinent information directly related to your skill sets, experience, your jobs. Your resume should highlight all of the dates from the beginning date, end date for your all of your employment. And your cover letter is your updated MS Teams recording and slide deck. That together will be your cover letter. And again, if you have any questions directly related to what we're requesting, some things like, well, I'm not sure, feel free to hit me up and I will be more than happy to support you in that process, because we want to make sure that everyone who is interested in applying has access and can apply for the position. Trying to think if there's anything else. There, the timeline in regards to dates associated with interviews and what that looks like and all the explanations. Once we kind of move a little further in the next couple of weeks, I will be sending information out in regards, because I want to make sure that everyone has these dates, because it will be a robust recruitment interview process. We will have multiple collaborators, tribes, partners, community staff that will participate in the assessment and scoring of this process. So I just want to make sure you're aware there is a lot of moving parts once a person is deemed to move forward in the process. But even getting all of your things ready, don't wait till the last minute to get your team's recording completed, to get your slide deck completed. The deadline is July the 6th at 11:59 p.m. Any questions in regards to that? Just to let you know, my regular work hours usually is Monday through Thursday, but it varies. But if you ever have any questions directly related to this position or anything else related to recruitment, just feel free to hit me on Teams and I will respond. Usually Teams is the best way to get me, because I'm constantly looking at that even on my time off. So I want to thank everyone. I'm just going to pause for a second. I need to pause to make sure. Are there any questions? Just want to make sure. Okay, there is, let me say the chat. Let's look at that. Of course. There's a thank you to Crystal and Sherelle. Happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday. Here's a question. Would we have restrictions to who we connect with, or is it connect to any area to come up with ideas to help everyone? Or would it be more open lens to connect to see the options to help any department or individuals in any way possible? Francis, could you do me a favor and please share your question with the group? I might not have read it.
I'll try. I have
Okay.
everybody just came back from break, so I'm trying not to interrupt them. But it's more, I'm just curious. The position, I know sometimes we can't connect with certain people, but like, is it more of an open working with everybody to see maybe they have a family or group of people that need a certain thing and we never thought about, like maybe an addiction treatment center of some sort? Could we reach out to them to see what they have, or is it more like we just stay in our bubble? Does that make sense?
Are you asking the question in regards to the position and how the position will be collaborating with various individuals, or okay, so more of this position and its collaboration reach, or
Gotcha.
okay.
I wasn't sure if it was more of a recruitment question connected to the process. This position absolutely is. So this is an executive level position. So we would want for sure this position to be reaching across the aisle with, say, system of care partners and partners in behavioral and mental health and substance use and addiction and those kinds of things around, policy strategy and ways to really think about opportunities for us to get coordinated for how we can build packages or initiatives or efforts or focuses to be able to move the dial for families who experience that versus being more direct services related. But absolutely, as a director, overseeing a continuum of policy services that are to help in the story of crisis family stability, and so on, absolutely we would want to have cross-agency, cross-community engagement with the tribe relationships for being able to build out what we're trying to build out for this portfolio and position. Did that answer your question, Francis?
Oh, it definitely did. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Okay.
Perfect.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any final questions? Thank you, Martha. So at this time, if there are no final questions, I want to say thank you to everyone for participating today to learn about this position and the opportunity. Thank you, Sherelle, Dana, for being able to come and share the information directly related to the transformation. And if you have questions later, feel free to send them to me and I will make sure we get them answered. Again, the position does close on July the 6th at 11:59 p.m. And if you have questions directly related to the recruitment or the process for application, feel free to send me an email and I will respond. Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend.
Crystal, really
Let me
quick,
see.
where can they find this recording later?
I will actually send it to everyone that's registered. I will get it, the YouTube version, and then it will be populated. Then I will send the link out to everyone. Okay. Let me see if there were, I'm looking.
I checked for you. There weren't any other questions in the
Thank you.
chat.
Perfect.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. All right,
Just check.
everyone. Enjoy the weather. I hear it's supposed to be nice. I've talking to our friends over in what is it? Bend and Umatilla, and they have hot weather. So hopefully we'll have hot weather too. Enjoy. Take care.